to Sunday. It is 5:40 p.m. in the evening, November the 20th. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And today, I wanted to talk about the importance of dreams, something that I have spoken about before. But what I see out there is it's actually a little bit depressing because I think, especially on some of the subreddits like the astral projection subreddit and the shifting subreddit, people discount dreams all the time. In fact, they seem very disappointed when they feel that, oh, this was a dream and it was not an actual shifting experience, or this was a dream and it was not an astral projection experience. And every once in a while, I want to talk about the importance of dreams and why you need to pay attention to them. Now, let me begin by talking about two recent dreams that I've had that were actually quite interesting. And I think at some point, perhaps not in the near future, who knows when, but I think I will understand more about why I had these dreams. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about involved a Native American. What I remember about this person, and I was observing this person walking around, and this person had a headband. I don't remember much about the features. I just remember that he was a Native American, longish hair, and he was holding some sort of device. Now, I noticed that this device, which I don't really remember much about the design of the device that this person was holding, but I remember that it was generating some sort of force field. And the reason why I thought it was a force field was I could see like this rippling sort of thing going on in the air. It was almost like there was, where the force field was, it was like almost liquid, and you could see it rippling and you could see waves and stuff like that. And I was just staring at this. I didn't know anything. I was just like, what is this thing? I'm just watching it. And so that's what I basically remember about that particular dream. Then there was another dream where I was looking through this, what I thought was a two-way mirror. And this mirror had wood paneling on it. And what I remember about this was, before I was observing this mirror from the outside, I was in some way able to see what this mirror would be able to see. It was like I was exploring the areas that it would be able to show me. And this two-way mirror wasn't just two-way, it could see many, many different things. So I could stand and look through this mirror and I could see all kinds of different things. And that was actually quite interesting. So I remember at one point, I seemed to move closer. And again, this was just observation. It was almost like I wasn't in a body. It was like I was just observing it. And I remember I was moving closer, little bits at a time. And as I was moving closer, there was a certain feeling of fear, because there was a lot of power in being able to see through this particular mirror. It was a very interesting dream. Now, after this dream was done, I remember in my mind, sometimes what I'll do is I'll shut my eyes and I'll just ask out loud. I'll just say, especially if something was confusing, I'll be like, well, I don't understand exactly what this dream was about. Now, I swear to you, I heard a name. Now, I'm not going to say the name on here because out of consideration for this person's privacy, this is stuff I don't talk about. And there's a reason I don't talk about this stuff. It's so interesting because people will sometimes ask me, is there any way that you could solidly prove that you're doing what you're doing. I've heard this question or seen this question a few times, and I've always told people, I don't have anything to prove, and I still feel that way. But have I heard names before? Have I been able to look up things before? Yes, I have. I don't talk about it on this channel, and I'm never going to mention someone's name out of privacy reasons. For goodness sakes, I would never mention a name, but I'm telling you right now that I got a name, and it was an author of a book, and the voice had said author, and the voice had also said the name of the person, and I was like, okay, and it ends up that this person wrote a book. Let's just say, I'm just going to say, on evolution. Let's just put it there. That's a very general term, evolution. And after thinking about it for a while, of course, what I was seeing may have something to do with our evolution to some degree, which was very, very interesting to me. I always say, if you don't want to know the answer to something, don't ask it. Many people will ask questions. They'll be like, I want to know this and I want to know that. And either they're not ready, I think, in my opinion, to receive the answer, or sometimes they may not even understand what it is that they're seeing. And this is the most interesting part to me, because I know we have so many questions about the universe and everything out there, why we're here, what our purpose is. But again, my experience, and I'm just talking about my experience with asking these things, is that when you ask a question, have the understanding that you may not understand what the answer is. We are looking at life in the universe from a 3D perspective. And this is something that I think is so interesting. People don't think about this. We're looking at it from a 3D perspective. The answers that we're getting are far beyond the 3D. So doesn't it sound reasonable to you that we would have some difficulty understanding things that are going beyond the 3D? That there are perhaps things that we can grasp, but there are going to be a lot of things that we're probably not going to understand. So when asking a question like, I don't know, I want to shift. So let's say you ask that question, I want to shift, and why can't I shift? And you're just asking these questions out loud. And certainly I encourage you to ask the question, but I'm also telling you that you're going to need to be prepared to hear what the answer is, whether you're going to like that answer or not, because, the answer may not be something you want to hear. And then going back into the dream thing, after you ask that question, pay attention to what you dream. Pay attention to the next dream. Now, it may be that you end up having an experience after you ask that question, but also because we all dream, more than likely it's possible that you will get your response in a dream. And you just have to actually kind of look at a dream and really try and understand how those parts are trying to communicate to you, because it's not always so easy, I think, on that end for them, for your more expanded self, for the other parts of you. It's not so easy to reach out and say, well, this is what the answer is. Again, you're talking about reaching out to a place that is beyond the 3D. So I want you to keep that in mind. And, with dreams, if it's helpful to you to journal, to write those dreams down, do that. I will, at times, especially if I think a dream is really important, I will write it down. Those 2 dreams that I told you about, I wrote down. I think it's important to perhaps do that. So then you can look back at it and really, really check it out. And perhaps the first time you have the dream, you're just sitting there going, I don't understand what this is, because, you know, we dream weird things. This is true too. You know, things that we don't necessarily understand, but perhaps given time and taking a break from it and saying, you know, I had this dream and maybe I'll look at it in a couple of days and see what this is. Perhaps when you look at it with fresh eyes, you'll be like, well, wait a minute. Maybe this meant this, or maybe that meant that. And perhaps it's giving you some insight into what you need to do to be able to accomplish your goal, whether it be to leave your body or to shift. Anyway, I hope that this conversation or this talk was helpful to you. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And until next time, take care.